So, are you team string or team chain? Hi everyone, welcome back to another Scotty Karate episode. Today we're going to be going over the differences between strung nunchucks versus chain. That on today's episode of... When talking about string nunchucks, there's a few pros and cons we need to go over. First up, pros. Now, I don't know if a price is an issue for you, but string nunchucks tend to be a little bit cheaper than chain. Now, with that being said, nunchucks are fairly cheap as they are. Normally you can pick up a pair for like $20. So, understand that it's not going to be too radical to go from a string to a chain. Normally a couple bucks. So if, say, a string pair of nunchucks is $20, you'll find a chain for like $22. But if you are, on a tight budget, maybe you should go with string just to save that little extra cash. Number 2, they are quiet. Now this is one of my favorite things about string when using nunchucks, is they are quiet. So as you're flipping around, moving them around, they don't make no noise. So that's a huge benefit. Now, when I personally use this is when I'm at the dojo. So when I'm there, I want to have my nunchucks strung so they're quiet. So as I'm doing my turns, my juggling, you can't really hear it. Not chain-wise anyway. So because of that, it makes it very easy to hear the instructor, or if you are the instructor, very easy to teach. Because I can tell you right now, when you get all those nunchucks in there going, and they all have chains, ooh man, it gets a little out of control. All of a sudden you'll be sitting there and you'll be like, okay, now first I want you to hear it. It's crazy. String nunchuck, all that goes away. So it's just a personal preference. In that scenario, I like string. Now, third and final pro I'm going to go over today is going to be the length. So the good news about a strung pair of nunchucks is you can restring them. If you don't know how to do that, I do have a video up here so you can check it out. But it's a real simple thing. Just go in, restring them. All you'll need is some string of some kind, even paracord will work. And I use a couple drops of super glue to help keep it sealed and glued in so it doesn't come loose or the strings don't come apart. Other than that, it's real simple. Now, if you get a pair of nunchucks and let's say you put them on, or go across your wrist or hand or just a little bit too long or a little too short, you can adjust them. And that's a huge benefit. With chain, it's very, very difficult to actually adjust. So string, great. You can just go, oh, I want a little shorter, I want a little longer. Now the cons for string nunchucks are, well, depends on who you're asking, but the problem is it is a string. So if you use your nunchucks often, especially in actually blocking, you take them, you put something across that, so you're blocking a bow, you're blocking a side, whatever. It's not going to take long before these start to wear. Now the good news is you can change them pretty easy when they do get there, but they are, they will break down. They're just string. So just know that is an issue if you're trying to use them to actually block things, actually use the nunchucks on a daily basis to train. This might be a concern. They might not be for you. Now, the next one is they are not flashy. Now, if you're not stressed out about that, you're not worried about, say, doing competitions, this might be the set for you. But if you are, most likely you're not going to be using string nunchucks. They are very simple looking, and they make almost no noise, like we've already talked about, which is a benefit in my eyes when you train, but when you're in a tournament and you're trying to get people to notice you, probably not the one you want. You want something a little bit more glistening in the sun versus these, which isn't going to do that for you. But all in all, that's pretty much the only downsides I really consider when I look at a pair of nunchucks. Everybody has their own, and they might have differences, but really, the only ones I see that actually matter are the ones I discussed here. Alright, time for the chain. Now, first pro we're going to be going over is going to be the chain. Now, seems kind of obvious, but if you're going to use them to block, strike, what have you, a chain is going to be a lot more durable than the string. Since you're using metal against whatever object, it's going to last longer. So you have the durability of the metal chain versus the string. So that is a huge benefit in a lot of people's eyes. If you're trying to use them, like I said earlier, you're trying to block, side, bow, whatever, you want to go across that chain long before you want to take it across the string. It will last longer. So that is a huge benefit going for the chain nunchucks. The next one is the ball bearing. So what I mean by that is up here at the top you have the ball bearing and a swivel point. Now, outside of being really cool, it does have a function. So as the nunchucks are twisting, as you do your juggling or you're moving around, they get to spin independently. So it doesn't matter, they will spin. But if they didn't, the chain would bind up, as you can see. Now, with the string, it does bind up a little bit, but I've never personally had it be so bad where it affected anything I was doing. So keep that in mind. It is a possibility, and it might not work for you. So if you do a lot of juggling or tricks or rolls, chain might be the way to go. The cons of chain, unfortunately, they are loud. Very, very loud. So just imagine you're in class and all you hear is, that gets really annoying really fast, especially when you have 30 people doing it. So understand that. So if you're thinking about taking them to a class to learn, I would suggest these probably aren't the ones for you. Now, if you want to have two pair, that's wonderful. But if you're only buying one, these things you need to think about. Now, the next con, we already talked about a little bit, is they are a little more expensive. Now, they're not so expensive that you need to break the bank. Like I said, we're talking a couple bucks. But if that is a factor, make sure you know that. And the last con we'll go over is a little bit different. Most people don't think about it, but this is something that I deal with, is the weight. So the center of balance is going to be a lot higher up on these nunchucks versus on the string nunchucks, which might be more in the center. Now, really the only thing that affects is when you start doing rolls, wrist rolls, your tricks, your juggling. When you start doing that, you will have your chucks feel different and weight different, which means they're going to flow a little different. So understand that they do weigh more up at the top due to the chain and the metal up here. So if that's a factor, know that. That's it. So between those two, there's quite a few pros and cons to both. Both have their great uses, but some have their disadvantages. As long as you know what you're getting yourself into and you're informed, that's what matters. Hopefully this video helped give you some insight on the differences you might use nunchucks for and which one, chain versus string, you might need to pick if you're looking to buy one. Well, if this video helps you out today, please like, comment, subscribe, and don't forget to hit that notification bell in the corner so you know when my videos are posted each week. And, as always, the more you train, easier the fight.